everyone, so if you guys have been following my videos for a while, then you know that I used to change up my foundation routine. Honestly, probably every 2 weeks I would find a new foundation. I would start using it and I would swear that it was like the greatest foundation in the entire world. And then February of 2010, I came across the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation, fell in love with it. Wouldn't use another, that was basically like 2 years ago, I would not use another foundation. I was like, this is the best foundation ever, and it was. It still is a really good foundation, and if you guys, you know, it's a little bit pricey, it's like $42, but if you have the money to spend on that, I would definitely still recommend that product. The problem that I kind of started to see with it is that I have really oily skin, and I kind of let it slide that it was not the best for oily skin because I loved the coverage so much. It was like completely full coverage, and I really liked the way it looked on my skin, but I started noticing that throughout the day it would start to kind of slide on my face a little bit, and I would have to use a lot of powder throughout the day and blotting papers, and it was just kind of more of a hassle towards the end of me using it. So I went on a hunt for a new foundation, and I picked up the Makeup Forever HD foundation. Now I want to go ahead and let you guys know that a little while ago my sister actually put up a sponsored video about this foundation from Makeup Forever. It is a complete coincidence that she started working with them. I bought this from Sephora with my own money, so I just want to go ahead and throw it out there that just because my sister did a sponsored video for them, like, this video has absolutely nothing to do with that, and it's a coincidence that I started using it right around when they reached out to her. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know some people would be like, well, Elle just did a video for them and now Blair's doing a video, but yeah, I came across this foundation. I have wanted to try it for a really long time, but I don't know, I never really got around to it. And so I was looking for a new foundation. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try the Makeup Forever HD foundation. So I tried it, and I love the consistency of it. I like the way it applies, and I'm going to do a routine for you right after this like long intro so you guys can see exactly how I apply it and everything. But I really like the way this stays. So I find that throughout the day I have really oily skin, and I find that it just stays put and it doesn't go anywhere, and I don't have to mess with my face for the entire day. So that's why I'm really loving this, and I've been using it for about 2 months now. So I wanted to hold off on doing an updated foundation routine until I was sure that this was my new favorite foundation, and it totally is. So that's why I wanted to do this video for you guys. So I guess I will go ahead and get into the tutorial of how I apply this, but yeah, I'm really liking it, and I still love the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation. So if you guys are, you know, wanting to try that still, definitely, especially if you have dry skin, I think that would be a phenomenal foundation for you. But this is just one that has been working really well for me, and I have really oily skin, so it works for me. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Alright, so I am starting off with absolutely no makeup on my face right now, but what I do have on is moisturizer and eye cream that I applied after I washed my face this morning. So the first step to my foundation routine is applying a primer. I like to use Studio Gear's Prime Objective. This is really good if you have oily skin like me, and I'm actually almost out of this. So I have to do a couple pumps, but typically it just takes one pump, and I just apply it onto my fingers like that, and then you want to put this all over your skin. This is going to make your foundation last a lot longer than it would if you were just to apply your foundation onto your skin. So I'm just kind of using my fingers. This also keeps my skin from getting oily throughout the day, and then also, what was I going to say? Oh, it also kind of almost fills up your pores a little bit, not in the, oh, my pores are like clogged kind of way, but in the, your foundation is going to go on a lot smoother kind of way, and it feels really, really good on my skin. So next I'm going to take my foundation. This is the Makeup Forever HD High Definition Foundation in the shade 117. I also have 125, which is like the complete polar opposite, but when I have a little bit more of a tan, that's the one, actually a lot more of a tan, that's the one that I use, and then that's like the darkest I ever am, and this is the lightest I ever am, and then if I'm in a shade in between, I can kind of mix them together to get my best shade. But what I like to do is just apply 2 squirts of this on the back of my hand, and then I take a stippling brush. I got mine from Target. It's by Sonia Kashuk, and I'm just here. I'll do this where you guys can see. I'm just going to very lightly tap the top of this stippling brush into the product, and then just start tapping it onto my skin. So I'm going to do this across my entire face, and then I will start blending it in. Right now I'm just kind of trying to get the product evenly on my skin. This foundation, I just want to let you guys know, this is really, really good if you are doing high def. By the way, I'm looking in my little lens thing over here. This is really good if you're doing high def filming. And my camera, just so you guys know, it has like an automatic light, I guess, like sensor in it. So sometimes it like changes tones. Sometimes I'll go from being like really orange to really green. So now I'm just going to go in small circular motions and start to blend this in. And then you also want to make sure that you take it all the way down your neck so that your face isn't one color and then your neck is a completely different color. So I'm just kind of pulling some of the color from my cheeks and then applying it down below my jawline. And I also get my ears a little bit, just like right here. So I'm just going in light circular motions. I'm also trying just to put the white onto my skin. I'm not pressing down far enough where the black is really kind of touching my skin. So I'm just very lightly using the white part of the brush. And then sometimes these brushes will actually leave kind of a little bit of a streak mark on your face. It's not as bad as if you were to use like a flat foundation brush, but sometimes they still do. So I just like to kind of look with a mirror and just make sure that I don't have any like very visible brush strokes. And I'm still going to go over it with a Kabuki brush, so it will kind of fade out a little bit if you have a few, but I just like to kind of double check that I don't have like a huge streak on my face or anything. Okay, next I take my no, this is not my foundation. This is my concealer, and it is by Studio Gear as well, and it is in the shade Light Medium. So for the brush I like to use, this is a MAC 212 brush, which is actually an eye brush, but I find that I like to use it for my concealer. So I just get a little bit of the concealer on this brush, and then I'm actually going to use my mirror for this little section. Okay, so I get a little bit on my brush, and then I just apply it right underneath my eyes. And first I apply the product, and then I go in and worry about blending it and stuff like that. I feel like I do that for every single step. It's just kind of like the way I do my makeup. So I'm applying it onto this side as well. And I'm just kind of using a tapping motion. And then I do around the sides of my nose because I get kind of red there. And this foundation is really good at covering up any redness or imperfection. So this is just, I only do it where I really need it, because otherwise the foundation already covered it up. And then I do my chin because my chin gets red too. And then right up here, I'm breaking out just a little bit. So I am going to just apply some concealer, and then over here. Okay, now that the concealer is applied on, I take my finger and I just kind of pat it. The warmth from your finger will help melt the concealer into your skin. So I just pat it like that. Now the next step is to set this with powder. So I go back and forth between which powders I use. I'm not like set to one powder, but recently I was at Ulta and I picked up the Tarte Smooth Operator powder, and it's just a very fine translucent powder, which is kind of what I go back and forth between, just different brands of it. So I like to do it where I get some of it up. Can you guys, I don't know if my camera's gonna pick up, but when I opened that, it kind of looked like smoke. That was really cool. So I get some of it in the lid, and then I take a MAC Kabuki brush. This is a 182, I think, yeah, 182, and I just kind of swirl that into the lid, and then I tap it. Okay, sorry, I keep doing things out of frame and I'm just telling you, and then I tap it like this, so I kind of get the product down into the bristles, and then I start just on my cheek, kind of applying this up around my nose to the other cheek. Get a little bit more, tap it down, up on my forehead, a little bit more, tap it down my chin. And I also go over my eyelids and down my neck with this. All right, so that is pretty much all I do for the foundation, but I'll go ahead and show you guys like what my typical everyday, I guess, like contouring that I do is, I don't do that much. I just take a little bit of bronzer. This is Benefit's Hoola bronzer. And then I take a MAC, what number is this? 109 brush. A lot of people like to use this for their foundation, which I actually have tried it a lot. I like the way it applies it, but this brush sheds so much. Like by the time I'm finished putting my foundation on, I have black like furs all over my face, and that's just not attractive. So what I'm gonna do is just use this brush, and I'm going to tap it into a little bit of the bronzer, and then I kind of do a fishy face, and I follow, you can see right here is naturally darker. That's because it's a shadow casted by my cheekbones that makes my face kind of look a little bit more chiseled there, but I just like to kind of amp that up a little bit and kind of fake it with makeup. So I just follow that natural line, and if you can't find that line, you can just go, and it's pretty much where this fishy line would connect. So I just kind of do that and then blend it back up towards my temples and into my hairline. Okay, and then I do it on the other side as well. Into my hairline, up towards my temples. And if you want to get fancy with it, you can also do it at your jawline. This is kind of my favorite place to do it, right here. Okay, and then I just make sure I blend it out so it's not very obvious. Okay, and then I take whichever blush I'm using for the day. Today I am using Pincho Peach by MAC because I just recently picked it up and it's like my new favorite blush. And then a MAC blush brush, which is the number's worn off, but I think it's a 129. So I just get a little bit of this, and then what I like to do is kind of apply it lower and further out to begin with, like lower from my eye and then further out from my nose to begin with, because I don't like for my blush to be like right up here. And then you can always work your way in if you feel like it's not enough. I feel like there's a fur coming out of my nose. So I'm just gonna kind of start working that, and then you can take this up towards your temples as well. Okay, and then the next step that I do is I take my foundation brush again, and I just go kind of like right in a line down next to my nose, just to make sure that if any of this has gotten close. I do not like the look of your blush being like too close to your nose or your eyes. So then I do the same thing underneath, and if it did get a little bit, that just kind of tones it down. And then for the last step I do is a highlighter on my cheekbones, and this one is Soft and Gentle by MAC. I've had this for so long, and I've used it every day and barely made a dent in this. So if you guys are looking for a good highlight color, I would definitely recommend this one because you'll pretty much never run out of it. So I just use my finger to apply this on my cheekbones, basically anywhere the light would naturally hit you. It's like the opposite of contouring. So then I go just a little bit down my nose, on my forehead, like above my brows kind of, my Cupid's bow, and then a little bit in this little, I guess, like, what is this? Like a little shadow place in my chin where my lip kind of comes. And then that is my everyday foundation routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, if you guys have any requests for any other beauty videos, leave them in the comments below. And I want to know what your favorite foundation is. And if you guys have any foundations that are from drugstores that you really like, I would like to try them out and maybe do a review on them. So leave me any foundations if you've tried from a drugstore that's good for oily, acne-prone skin, because that's the kind of skin I have. And I will try them out and review them if you guys want. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next step I would do is my brows, my eyes, my lips, and then I would be ready to go out the door. So that is my everyday foundation routine, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.